Hello, hello. Let's talk today about a common software design mistake I am guilty of doing for several years in my career. In a typical application, as we can see here, we have the business layer depending on the data layer. Dependencies flows in this direction. We have the ordering service where validation of business rules resides, calling the database, doing some calculation, and implementing some business rules. So this service needs to call the database. It depends on an interface that resides inside the data layer. This interface usually has like a find method and an insert method. That interface is implemented by a data mapper here that is responsible of communicating with the real database. This mapper uses ORM code or inline SQL to build DB entities out of the database schema. The problem here is that when a change to DB schema happens, we have a change occurring on the business rules. Your business rules are fragile and dependent on the changes that happens in the data layer. That is not healthy, guys. We're gonna see why. Let's go down for a better solution here. When we say we need to invert the dependency, what do we mean by that? We mean the data layer has to depend on the business layer, not the other way, not like the above diagram. Our ordering service still has its rules implementation, but now it depends on the interface that has the find and insert method, but this interface now resides in the business layer, not in the data layer. It is the responsibility of the data mapper here to implement that interface above. Still, the mapper is responsible of talking to the real database, building the DB entities, plus mapping DB entities to domain entities. These are the domain entities where our domain rules reside now. This interface uses these entities. So, the benefit here is that our ordering service can be written in full isolation, independent on DB schema changes. It is the responsibility of the data mapper to act as a plug-in to implement this interface here. You want to talk to a different database? Fine. Have a second plug-in residing in the data layer that implements the same interface here. Our ordering service now is free. It can be written and unit tested in full isolation. That is a better decision, and that is the core idea of the dependency rule that says high-level policy, our business here, must not depend on low-level details. Never let your high-level policy depend It is the responsibility of the low level details like the data or the integration to implement your high level policies. Your high level policies are the reason why your software exists in the first place. You have to protect them with your life without dependencies on external changes from a database or an integration or an external system. That's it, guys.